Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, don't miss the play. Flurry Sports will save your day. Cracking jokes with sports insight. Zach and Jake, they get it right. Fuck yeah.
And another thing, welcome back to the Flurry Sports Podcast. We were doing a podcast just for us, and then we decided, hey, let's go live, start recording so you can get in on it too. So you missed the past 25 minutes. It's been a good conversation.
We were planning.
We're planning. We're talking about what we were going to talk about, and then we just talked about it. So we'll see if we decide we want to rehash the college football or college sports. I forget there's other college sports than college football. But the college football salary cap, which is all we really care about, maybe a little bit of college basketball. Supposedly Cooper Flagg earned $50 million this past year. Tell me where that money came from. Cooper Flagg's just the equivalent of the Kentucky Derby, but in college sports. Like, where'd that money come from? We don't know where it's coming from, but NIL is just a different form of money laundering, apparently. That's what I've discovered. But Jake wants to talk about the NBA. So that's why we went live, because that is such a very rare situation on this show. We figured we may as well document it. So go ahead.
First off, this is a strategy based on last week after Emily and I talked for damn near 2 hours, which, by the way, sorry. Blacked out. And Zach was gone for 1 week, and it really did shine a spotlight on you being the saint of brevity.
Yeah,
like it was like
I tuned in and you guys were talking about fucking conspiracy theories, showing ads on screen, doing stuff like that. Like
the start was tough. Absolutely. Yeah. But we really cooked when we got to the Disney section. It's a good watch. But best way to keep a podcast short, start it off air.
I mean, that's very true. That's very true. Technically, we have only been going for less than 2 minutes, which seems wild, since we've already covered college football. That's incredible.
But for NBA, first off, sports got to stop. Sports and sports talk have to stop doing this. We have to stop shitting on like championship matchups. I think that's such a funny thing to do. Like, we get a matchup and then we all debate, was this a good one?
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's see.
Like, before it happens. But it's revealing of like where we're at, of like, where that never happens, the NFL, because we're gonna
true.
Which, by the way, the answer to that is not for Adam Silver to come out and compare his championship game to. This is my thing with it.
Yeah,
Adam, buddy, I know you listen to the show. What world was an NFL comparison going to end good for you?
You need to stop talking about us. Get our name out your mouth. We understand. Right. That's all you think about at night. Oh, we used to have Christmas. Yeah, you did. You did, didn't you? Stop talking about us, because every time we do, the boogeyman shows up. Don't say the NFL 3 times in a row, because we're going to appear and take another day away from you. You think your draft is cool? Maybe we'll do a second draft that day.
And everyone goes, oh, Adam thinks he's the NFL. Like, no matter what you say, that's not going to work. For those who missed it, he went on First Take.
I think so, yeah.
First Take, and addressed, I guess, accusations that this matchup is not good for the NBA, which is also a crazy thing.
Let me tell you why it doesn't suck.
Yes.
And here we go.
And his answer was that, essentially, I agreed with his answer till he gave the metaphor, which is, what else is he supposed to say besides, hey, small markets are fun, like, this is a cool matchup. One of these teams is going to leave an NBA champion for the first time. That's awesome. Period. Go home, Adam. Say that. Get out of there. The games are great, which I don't know if that's been true, but, say something to those effect. And instead he said, no one complained when it was two small franchises in the NFL, small markets in Pittsburgh and Green Bay.
Yeah, fuck you. Like, you don't know anything at that point. Like, okay, so you're saying Title Town and then the franchise who's tied for the most Super Bowls? That one? That's the one you're talking about?
Correct. And first off, everyone's been pointing that out, literally, especially at that point, because the Super Bowl he's referring to, his out-of-pocket references, he's like, I'll show these folks that the small market series is good. He had to dig back 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good sign. Like, also, if you wanted to prove your point.
And by the way, what a full circle story. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers being the Steelers. Now Aaron Rodgers is on the Steelers. It's the gift that keeps on giving. That is the NFL.
Yes, but almost to prove his point, if he could have just summoned a little ball knowledge, if he could have summoned some baseball knowledge, it happened 2 years ago. The Texas Rangers played the Arizona Diamondbacks, but I just don't think
That was the World Series matchup?
That was the World Series matchup, was the Rangers and Diamondbacks. Both the last wild card on their side. Yeah, no, we talked. There's an episode of us saying that it was a tough time for us, but
I remember the pitcher for Arizona who was a rodeo star. That's literally the only thing I remember. Who won that?
Rangers won.
And Matt, good for them.
It was the literally same deal. Rangers and Diamondbacks were like, the series before were super fun because everyone had a wild card to cheer for. The only issue was both underdogs won. And then it was like, oh, fuck, what do we do? But it was the same deal where one team was going to, it would have been the Diamondbacks' second World Series, but same idea. Like, struggling franchise overall, comes back, whoop, whoop. But now here we are. That was not the story of the Steelers-Packers.
No. Also, though, just to touch on that, just to play full devil's advocate, and I mean, you are a baseball fan. Yeah. So what's your personal opinion, and what do you think the general baseball opinion is? What was a better World Series, Arizona, Texas, or Dodgers, Yankees?
So I think Dodgers, Yankees, to go full antithesis to the metaphor, would have been a better argument for Silver, because I will say that I and most of baseball would tell you that the Yankees series was better. And I'm here to tell you it wouldn't have mattered what the games were. Like, I guess that's the argument is I would have gone NBA though, but Adam Silver would disagree with that. Any Lakers Celtics series is going to be an all-timer, even if it's a sweep. Like the Dodgers Yankees was not competitive except for a few dramatic moments. And it's one of the most talked about World Series ever. But it's not always that case. I think the greatest World Series in modern history was Cubs, Cleveland Indians at the time in 2016. Like those Cleveland, Chicago are like medium market. Also, by the way, just for the record, Pittsburgh's still a top 30 market. Like, I don't know how far the list you go before it's small market.
Well, Adam Silver could have literally talked about Bucks Suns. That was a fun series. We had this exact same conversation then.
I know. By the way, that was so fun. That was such a fun time. Phoenix is a bigger market than I think, but
it's not that big though.
I've got the list up, and this is this is sportsmediawatch.com. I looked up market size, and it's from 2024, but it's by household watching overall. So it might not be the best metric because it essentially rewards folks that have as many professional teams as possible. Which is, I think, why Phoenix is so high up is because they have one in every sport. You know, besides hockey.
But it also takes into account that people are watching it, though.
Correct. But they're 11.
Like LA, obviously LA is a huge market, but how many people are watching it?
Absolutely. LA? Yeah. Like it's also like what everyone talks about, to your point. New York is so much higher than every other market in terms of watchability because it encapsulates New Jersey and all the people that live there, and it's so sports based. They also have like 10 fucking professional teams. Like LA's got a lot, but it's even by rating standards, it's 1,500 less rating marks, and I think they do that by like homes per capita than New York City. And then it's almost the same gap between LA and Chicago. And then there's a bunch in like that next gap. But, you know, that's every sport and everything. So there's big marks there. I will say by that metric, Minneapolis is very comfortably like a medium market, which is interesting, like the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
So
I will say though,
I think everyone's a small market. That was my other complaint.
Everyone's a small market. I mean,
Besides
maybe
New York
I
and
guess
LA, everyone's
Houston,
a small market. Yeah.
Chicago. But like you're talking about these small markets, and he picked out the two worst examples of all time. Because not only are they historic and successful, but yes, they're smaller markets who do nothing but live and breathe those fucking teams.
And also are comfortably two of the most national teams.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
In the
NFL. That as well. But even if you just look at just those local markets, like if the Packers were in the Super Bowl, you know what percentage of Green Bay's population would be watching the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
125%, because people would go to Green Bay to watch it.
Yeah.
But with these teams, I think Indiana, I think I'm giving them too much disrespect, but I feel like no one's a true Pacers fan. Maybe there are. I understand it's a basketball state, whatever. OKC, I understand their home arena is wild. I understand it's crazy. I understand a lot of people are saying it's like a bomb went off in Oklahoma City. I think it's a little too soon for that. But even still, if you are a Thunder fan in Oklahoma City, you know where you're watching the game? You're watching it there. No one's at home watching a fucking Thunder game. I can guarantee it. Nobody.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma could get there with the Thunder in the same way the Pacers are but that's, I agree with you on the disrespect to the Pacers, only because Pacers fans have been Pacers fans for 3 decades, and there's a lot of history there.
And they left.
I mean, 100%. Listen.
You know who's Pacers fans? The 65-year-old white guys who are like, oh, Pacers are good. That's good. And then they turn it back on. And I'm one of his biggest supporters. I like him. He's annoying as fuck, but I do like him because Oshkosh and he's a wrestling fan. They're not going to get behind Tyrese Halliburton. They're just not. Like I don't think the old Pacers fans like Halliburton. So who cares?
Here's what I would say about both of these teams. It is, no matter what sport, it's a little unfortunate when a team gets to the championship game like a year early, maybe a couple. Like, yeah, it's always hard when that happens. Like, there's no one on these teams that we've been like totally. Shea Gilchrist might win MVP.
I think he already did.
Oh, boom! I'm right. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I've never been more correct on a prediction. And he's still like, I think we're like, I just saw like 3 sports talk things today that were like, is SGA about to become a star? Well, what are we fucking doing? He's already MVP.
Yeah, if he's not, I mean, we need somebody to be a star in this fucking series. Might as well be him, I guess. It's not gonna be. Don't make it be Chet Holmgren. Don't ask him. He'll say yes.
Yeah, can we stop talking about the finals like it's not happening actively? Like Silver's on there like, it might be good. He came on after game 1 and said that. Maybe it'll be a good time. They've already played a game.
He didn't know. He didn't tune in.
No one's watching it. I think it's fun in principle. Like I don't agree that it's market based, and I do. I'm weirdly vibed out by. It's one of those things. This is going to be a stretch, but I'm going to pull it back in. We do this thing for training for my job where we ask folks, like one of our trainings, basically like connecting with different types of people or whatever. And the speaker we had last year was like, all right, raise your hand if you would say you're athletic or you're an athlete, you know? So I have to watch all the gym bros in the room be like, me, you know, cool. All these things. If you're an academic, whatever. They asked, raise your hand if you would say you come from an affluent or rich or, you know, well taken care of family, however they worded it money wise.
Okay.
No one raised their hand. I believe one asshole raised their hand, and everyone knew he was going to because he always wears a 3-piece suit. But
Wow.
my
He
point
raised his
being,
pinky.
no one thinks they're rich. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll be a hypocrite in this because I was in the room going, no, because I was poor. It's like, no, because I'm for sure one of the poor ones. We can't all be poor. And I think the same thing happens with markets where like the Knicks are not an underdog.
Right.
Like
right.
the New York Knicks are like, we're America's scrappy team. No, you're not. You're New York's
No, you're not.
basketball team.
Yeah. I will say, and you were kind of touching on this before. You said everyone's a small market. I think it's the reverse, but it's. I mean, if we're all this, then we're all this. It doesn't truly matter. I think the NBA should recognize this more than anybody. The NBA doesn't have local markets.
No, thank
That's
you.
the
Maybe
whole thing.
That's the thing. Yeah,
everyone's a national market. Everyone's just. You might be in fucking Rhode Island and be a fan of the Thunder because you like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like that's it.
You're so right, Zach. And you know what would have been a great metaphor for Adam Silver to use? The last time anyone cared about the Thunder. Do you think anyone in Oklahoma cared about their big three? No, they were like one of the most popular teams. People still debate how good that team was. They were together for like 2 years.
They were great though. They should have won.
They should have won. Ran into a buzzsaw.
They did. But I mean, yeah, truly. How many? Everybody was cheering for the Thunder unless you were a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
And unless I feel like if you were in Oklahoma City, you didn't even know they were playing. The Thunder have more fans in Seattle than they do in Oklahoma.
That's sad. That's so sad. It's also true. It's crazy Seattle doesn't have a team. I haven't gotten over it yet. I'll remember.
Someone's got to. By the way, a little flashback 2 weeks ago. I've gotten a lot of comments on your whole Pat Tillman being the coach thing. They've a lot of people thought I was one of the all-time screw-ups in terms of names. You were going for Charles Tillman, pulled a Pat Tillman. He's great.
Did people? Yeah, interesting. I've had a real stretch because I've been getting, because we talked about Disney movies last week, a lot more people in my life that I know who like maybe not in sports talk were like, oh, I'll give it a listen, or like Emily's circle. I got, I shit you not, more than 10 texts of people. I forgot I said this. People being like, why did you randomly dunk on Holes? Like,
Holes is a great movie. You didn't like it?
No, I guess I don't feel like I really dislike it, but I went back and listened to it, and I do bury it, and very, I go out of my way to bury it. When I'm talking about Fox and the Hound, and I say, Fox and the Hound, like Holes, is one of those movies that just exists to make me sad and do nothing else. And Emily goes, you don't like Holes? And I say, no one can act and nothing good happens until the last 30 seconds, which that's a quote and I can't change it. It's a little harsh. It's one of those movies that I think my real reaction to it is I watched Holes and I went, oh, that was okay. And I totally missed the bus. Like, that is not the common takeaway from Holes.
Well, the thing is with Holes is that was one of the books like almost everyone was forced to read in middle school because it's the easiest read of all time. And then everyone likes the story. So it's like, okay, I'll watch the movie. That's why everyone has a connection, because it's like I spent way too long in fourth grade or something reading this book, pretending to actually be reading.
And I don't think it's a bad movie. I just have a thing with movies. I just think it's a bit of a bummer.
No, stand up business. You hate Holes.
You can't make me watch it. If that means I hate it, that means I hate it. This is real. That movie is sad to start. Then it gets racist. Then it calls out racism. The movie itself isn't racist. But then I begin to watch a movie where they lynch a man. Then they come back and there's toxic lizards. And then one of the few happy points in the movie is when they're eating onions.
Hey, gives you a little insight on what it's like to live in the desert.
And
it's a scary place.
I do have a sales pitch that I know is going to connect with you specifically. You can't be a fan of Waterboy and then not think they totally underutilized Henry Winkler.
Oh, I mean, of course. Yeah.
Every time I watch that movie, I go, he needs to be in much more of this.
in everything he's ever done. He should be the biggest star of all time, and for some reason, he fell off after being the Fonz. Like, that's incredible. How's that even possible?
He's good at everything. But yeah, so between that and Pat Tillman, I've taken the teeth the last couple weeks.
Okay, I need to watch you guys' Disney rankings.
think
Thanks
you're gonna
for
be
Emily
shocked.
for stepping up, by the way.
We had a
terms of
great time.
filling
I think
in.
you're going to be shocked at her thoughts specifically on The Rescuers and The Little Mermaid.
I've never seen Rescuers. Little
the
Mermaid
mice movie.
blows.
Oh, you're going to be in lockstep with her then. I was
Okay,
shocked.
horrible.
She's like, that's a bad movie and I won't let it rate you higher than D.
Yeah, terrible. Where'd you guys put Hercules? Because that's the cream of the crop.
I had to fight for it to be an A.
Okay.
And she was like B to A, and I was like S or A, and so we landed on A. Have you
Michael
ever seen the
Bolton
movie
sings the
Home on the
song at the
Range?
end. No, I
Oh.
haven't. Michael Bolton though. If Michael Bolton's singing any soundtrack, bump that bitch up because that's a banger.
Home on the Range, I gotta say, I've seen once and I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. M came in and was like, we all agree Home on the Range is one of Disney's best movies. And I was like, do we? And she's like, yeah, I think everyone thinks it's underrated. She did a great impression of one of the characters. I was like, yeah, you know what? I do like it. We'll rank it in the S tier. Zach, I kid you, no one has a nice thing to say about that movie. She was so convincing in how much people love Home on the Range. Its popcorn meter on Rotten Tomatoes is like 34. Everyone's
she was just a farm kid that felt connected. She felt seen. She felt like she was represented in a movie, and then she got it.
A very farm-centered movie where they yodel, and I think it just connected to us in a way it won't to others. But Hercules is up there, and I think like
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I think our top ones, if you rewatch it, like in no particular order, I think some of the Pixar heavy hitters are very high up. Up,
what would
Cars,
be
Ratatouille.
What would be a challenging one to do would be ranking all of Disney's sequels and see like how terrible some of those are.
So Em and I talked about doing that because we had the DVD collection, so we've seen most of them, but we basically said that like our opinions were too like consistent. We were like, well, there's 3 good ones here and the rest are fine to bad. So that happened a lot. The one I'll talk about with you, I was going to bring this up today because they didn't have it on the list, as people point out afterwards. Goofy Movie was nowhere on the list.
Really?
Which I don't know if
it's heartbreaking.
Just missed that. I was like, I've been telling people who brought it up to me, well, that's an S. Sorry we missed it, but it's Claire and I watched it 2 weeks ago. It's really good.
First one?
The first one. We also watched the second one, which I'm not going to lie, didn't hold up. But
that's the Extremely Goofy Movie?
The Extremely Goofy Movie where PJ meets the French woman.
Right. And he has the easy cheese doing like the whole Eiffel Tower thing. Yeah. That didn't hold up? Excuse me.
Those scenes held up, and Goofy flirting with the librarian held up.
Oh, banger. Yeah, of course. He's got Goofy Riz for sure.
But it's I would, if we were ranking that one, I'd put it in B. If we were ranking the Goofy Movie, I'd put an S with the, oh my God, Bigfoot. Forgot Bigfoot was in that movie. The Possum Place.
Right. Yeah.
This is what I'll say about that movie.
Thank you, Luke, in the chat for a very related comment, by the way.
Yeah, Claire got mad at me because I was like, Max is a scumbag at the start of the movie because I was like, why is he so mean to his dad?
Hey, that's that teenage angst, and we all get it.
And the
Luke,
music.
are you having a bomb pop right now? That's the only way I could, unless I said something was bomb, maybe. I don't know. But,
okay, let's do this right now. We're not talking about anything else more important. Can you give me rankings of like popsicles or like ice cream treats?
Ice cream. I mean, Popsicles is harder, but Sunday cones, like those little drumstick things, those
nice.
are fucking S tier. Like, are you? I mean,
Give
maybe
me
it's
top
just
5. Yeah.
maybe it's okay. Sure. Maybe that's just my affinity for Shorzy, but I love me a drumstick. You know what I mean? They're incredible.
This sounds great, Luke. It's psychotic that you have this opinion.
Good too. Watermelon, is that a popsicle?
It must. It must be a type of popsicle, bomb pop. I'm guessing. He followed up with this though. For those, follow us on YouTube.
Bought 3 boxes. Yeah. Watch on YouTube. In terms of just popsicles, I gotta say, fudgesicle, not a fudgesicle guy.
No.
Bomb pops are good, but like,
what did you say for Sunday cones?
Sunday cones or drumsticks.
Drumsticks.
The cones with like chocolate in the bottom. That's just so fucking good.
When we did hiring for my position, Taven, who you know now, and I are both big Shorzy fans, and he was rewatching it, and we were like, sticks for the boys. So we brought sticks to hiring. That's
incredible. That's a great move.
Yeah.
Like the push-ups suck.
Yeah.
Ice cream sandwiches, just those are they always hit.
Yeah.
They're always incredible. Luke wants to know, do we remember root beer and banana flavor? I remember root beer flavored popsicles.
I remember banana. I remember both.
Root beer's solid. Root beer, by the way, for the people in the Midwest, underrated mix-in for like a shake or a concrete mixer at Culver's. Throw root beer in as one of your things.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Oh, Jake's going to Culver's after this show.
I am going to Culver's after this. I do need to change up, and people can make fun of me if I just realized this is not going to be a popular opinion. My go-to mixers are I get chocolate custard, which, by the way, I do judge a little sometimes if you go vanilla. But with root beer, I'd go vanilla. Okay. I do chocolate custard, brownie mix, cherries.
Yeah. I'm not a huge chocolate and cherry guy, but I get it. Like if that's your thing, I'm sure that hits.
Well, it does, except lately they've been doing this to me. I was stunned when they asked me the last time I went with Claire. I've been ordering this like years. The last time I went, they hit me with whole cherries or wild cherries. And I was
Did you just freeze?
I was like, I didn't know this was an option. And I asked, I was like, can you tell me what the difference is? And God is my witness, Zach. They said, well, the whole ones are the whole cherry, and the wild ones are wild.
Yeah, I got. Okay, thank you.
And I was like, okay. I said whole cherries because I was like, okay, they're bigger. Then they asked me how many.
How many you got? How many you
said
scavenge up today?
I said 6. I was like, 6 feels
That's
good.
A good number. That's not too greedy.
They asked me and then they put 2 in.
Okay.
Why'd you ask me?
That's so good. Oh, shit. We already gave up 4. Okay, we only got 2 left.
They've never done that to me before. So I need a new mix-in. So I'm in on that. Luke, to the question, malt cups, underrated?
Malt cups are underrated. Those are good.
I had a dilly bar this weekend.
Dilly bars are good. What's your code? What's the flavor? Cherry dilly bars are good. Those just came back, I think.
Yes. Cherry dilly bars are good. I don't know if I've had too many outside of cherry or chocolate.
Butterscotch are good.
Oh, butterscotch are good. I have had that. I don't think Bombsicle is even my favorite popsicle. I like a bomb pop, but Dreamsicle. OG.
Not Dreamsicle.
That's for me.
Guy.
That's fair. I do agree with you on a classic ice cream sandwich is good.
Yeah. Those Outshine popsicles are really good.
Yeah, I don't mess with Klondikes.
Okay, I mean, don't isolate part of that word.
Sorry. Whoa, I'm so sorry, especially not during Pride Month. Klondike bars.
Happy Pride Month for everybody.
Yeah. Oofta.
Heartbroken the day Choco Tacos went away. Those are always incredible. To your point, I mean, if you need to isolate me as well, I guess those Klondike bars, back when we were in school, maybe you had them too. The ones that had like the caramel and all that shit in there, fucking incredible. Those are so good.
Better if you had to pick one niche taco, Choco Taco or Doritos Locos.
Ooh, I think I'd go Choco Taco.
Cool Ranch Doritos Locos tacos always hit the spot for me.
Those are good. Those are good. I'm not a hard taco guy though. Like I appreciate the gimmick, but like I'd prefer a walking taco. Put that in a Doritos bag. I'd like that more than, I don't want it like fall apart and my fingers get all dusty.
Yeah.
I don't need a task after I'm done eating. I don't want to wash my hands when I'm done.
That is real. That limits me, by the way, on I got roasted by staff a few years ago because I said that while I liked Cheetos, they wouldn't be like a go-to snack for me, and it's just the mess.
I agree. Like if I could have,
I have to be home.
It should come with gloves. You know, the whole finger thing with the dust, it's not cute.
I'm done for the
pretending
night.
it's cool. Yeah, 100%. And hopefully I'm not wearing white because I'm wiping my hands off somewhere.
Thank you for saying the bold part out loud, Luke. Not corn tortillas. Gotta be flour.
I think I disagree. As long as it's soft, I'm with it. I like corn tortillas.
I agree with Luke.
Hey, I get it, but you know, there's a lot of shit happening right now in terms of ice stuff. I like the authentic Mexican tacos.
Hey,
and that's with corn tortillas. You know,
we stand in support. I couldn't. Hey, by the way, fully in support of that. Speaking of food, it's especially at sporting events. You mentioned walking tacos. Zach, I got to give you lay down. The people will be interested in this. We're doing a work retreat this week, and we're going to the Brewers game.
Okay.
Through different pieces and stuff that I won't get into because this part of the story is boring. We were able to get a box, which should be fun. So our office is going for a box. That should be really cool. They do not mess around with boxes. I've only been to one before, and it was like a guest of somebody, so I didn't know the full layout. They ask you, like, what do you want for food? We could have gone taco route. We could have gone pizza route. We were like, give us the ballpark food.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
We're bringing about 20 people, and for 20 folks, each of us can have up to 3 hot dogs or brats.
Okay.
And up to 2 burgers.
As well.
Wow.
Okay.
And as well, cheese curds.
Ooh, perfect. Great.
And nachos. And chicken strips.
Okay. I mean, you gotta, I'm gonna need you to document it. Get the whole smorgasbord.
And
you know?
up to 6.5 beers a person.
Question.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So we're at 6. Let's just say, for example, 6 are done.
Listen, we divided the exact number by the amount of people we had.
Oh, gotcha. I was gonna say, like, I could only have a half more. Like,
no,
what are we doing?
They give you a set number, and then that's how much with our group. So this box is built for a lot of people.
I mean, it's built for one speed, and that's go. It was what it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, and I fear my talking up of Hams has finally made it up to me because Hams is going to be one of the beers they're providing, which is great.
Right.
But they did that, and then everyone has been going. They got to pick what beers we have, so they're like, "Well, Jake like Hams. That's part of his personality. So let's get Hams." No one's helping me with it, so I'm a third of the beer is Hams.
That's too much. You know, if you're building your beer lineup, a third Hams is too much Hams.
It's too. I was even like with 6.5 beers. I was like two Hams and 4 other beers feels a little out of skew.
I mean, right. I feel like, you know, tell me if I'm wrong because you're the Hams guy. You're the spokesperson.
True.
If Hams is listening,
please.
Send them over.
I'm wearing Hams boxers right now.
There you go. I feel like Hams is a good getting warmed up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't want to have a beer right away. I'll have Hams. You know, I want to hydrate a little bit. Maybe it's like drinking a hop water, you know, those things. it's pretty much the equivalent of a hop water.
I will do it this way. This was my college go-to, and I think I'm going to bring it back for this, which is dangerous. I feel like I need to stretch, like I should pregame tomorrow just to get back in the mindset. I will do the old classic, which is I will start with like a spotted cow because that's one of the options. So I think I'll start with a spotted cow, enjoy, sip, and then crush 5 hams. Like spotted cow is quality, and then hams is quantity.
Sure.
Because I can't afford 6 spotted cows like in one night. You can't be doing that. But hams,
no,
the money part's not what's going to get you. So go for it. You know,
drinking 6 spotted cows will weigh you down too. If you drink 6 hams, you're skipping out of there. You're doing good.
Luke, I hate how accurate this is. Hams is the beer you use to shotgun when it's warm.
Maybe because it has no flavor. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not sure if I do that.
Hams is my cheap. I just need a bunch of a beer. Hams and PBR to me are interchangeable. I don't know if other
people
feel
this.
That way.
Tell me this. I need you to answer honestly. Okay. So you're drinking hams at home or anywhere, really. Have you ever? Please answer honestly. You pour hams into a glass, right?
Never.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was wondering if you ever put ice cubes in your hams.
No.
It feels like that would be the route you would go. Oh, no, too much respect.
No. I don't put ice cubes in anything, so maybe that's a cop-out to your question.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Not a nice guy.
Okay. Luke, random question to you, since you're the third person in this conversation. Luke, do you drink cold water?
In the chat, by the way.
Luke's in the chat. Jake, do you like cold water or room temperature water?
I like cold, but I won't put ice in it.
Okay, Luke likes room temperature water. Do you like room temperature beer, Luke? Or are you going only ice cold
good question.
For the beer?
Good question.
Because I've had like in Europe, obviously, the temperature of the beer is warmer, and it wasn't bad. I'd still prefer a cold beer, though. But I can see some people preferring it being warm, maybe. Not warm. Room temperature.
I certainly don't mind a room temperature beer.
I'm not going to turn down a beer. The only room temperature beer I'm upset by is if it started cold. If it started room temperature, I'd be okay.
Yeah. I was going to say I've like crushed a room temperature beer before. Like we're going to chug something. It's like, grab it out of the box. It's in the corner over there.
No time to, we'll put the rest of the box in the fridge while that gets cold. I'll drink a few of these warm ones. Yeah. That's fine.
That's interesting. Okay. Luke, as you're answering about your preference in temperature drinks, you can answer this too, Zach, but I'd like Luke's thing. If he likes room temperature things, please tell me that you don't drink iced coffee, right? You're a heated coffee person.
Interested to know if Luke's a coffee guy at all. And Luke, if you would like a link to the call, if you would like to call in, let me know that as well.
Yeah, that's true. We are getting a lot of questions. Do you bounce back and forth, Zach, on coffee?
Like today, if I have respect for the coffee, it's hot because I'm not going to dilute it. I'll say that. But if I am out and about or if it's just cheap, gross coffee, then I want it iced. Mute the flavor.
To tie back into sports a little bit, that made me think of this weekend. We were up in Green Bay visiting grandparents, and we went to 7 Brew Coffee there, which is a chain in Wisconsin. But we went there, and the high schooler who was taking our order, we were small talking with. We told her we were going to Venable's Supper Club, which is a famous supper club in the Green Bay area. So Claire, Claire's ball knowledge in this conversation. I was like, that's why she's the one, maybe, because they were like, where's Venable's? And she's like, oh, it's in Hollandtown. It's by Appleton. Packer people go all the time. She hits her with, do you know who Bart Starr is? This girl goes, no, I don't know who Bart Starr. And Claire's follow-up is, okay, do you know who Don Hudson is? And I was like, what's next? Where are we going? Jerry Kramer? Yeah. Forrest Gregg? She said no to Bart Starr. We're going backwards.
She has to know who Ray Nitschke was, though. Did she ask her that one?
No, but the girl goes, I know who Aaron Rodgers is, and Claire goes, oh, we don't like him anymore. And I was like, boom, this girl, we are not extending an olive branch.
That is fair. And Luke is going to join the call, by the way. So he has thoughts, it sounds like. And then maybe while he's on as well, I can tell you about a little bit more about the road trip I went on around Wisconsin. I said I was going to, searched for Dublin, Wisconsin, and dare I say I found answers.
Wow. And that's good to break down with Luke.
Yes, Luke knows a little bit about it. Luke's fully bought in to the Dublin conspiracy. And by the way, I will say this as a teaser. I started thinking, can't be real. Cannot be real. Why is there merch for a supposed military town? That does not make sense to me. But now I am thinking, something's happened. I don't know if Dublin's real, but I know the government's doing something. Okay. There's some sneakiness going on. There's an agenda of sorts. Well, spoiler alert, went to Agenda Wisconsin, Jake, which supposedly, according to one Reddit comment on the thread, is the new name for Dublin, Wisconsin. I typed in Agenda Wisconsin. I'll show you where we went. I'll show you where we went. But Luke is here. So Luke, welcome to the show. Big conversation happening right now. So, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Oh, you're delayed, but we got you. Maybe refresh it because we need you up to date. Split second stuff going on.
Luke only joins the show from 6 seconds in the past, whether he's at the draft.
That is true. That is true.
That seems better.
Perfect. A little bit better. Okay. So, did you read or hear? I guess we didn't type them. Did you hear our questions to the coffee debate and beer debate?
I don't drink coffee.
Okay, that's kind of where I was thinking.
I hate coffee.
Oh,
Jake, same way. I think
same way.
My first job was in a Dunkin' Donuts when I was 14 years old, and now the smell of coffee disgusts me.
Really, I feel like the smell's the best part.
Oh, I don't know. I may have had total of coffee that I've drank in my life, maybe less than 1/2 of a cup.
I love that shit, but you're speaking right to Jake's heart.
Yeah.
So now, with the beer though, because you are a room temperature water guy.
I love beer.
I mean,
Agreed.
all of us do. You don't love hams. It sounds like you just pound hams. You don't have no respect for hams.
No respect for hams.
Hams
no one
is
does.
So good.
Stop it.
When I was in college, I had a job building pools over the summer, and we had a hillbilly working for us, and from Florida, and he said he moved up here for Wisconsin for the beer, and asked him what beer he drank. He said hams.
Not a good
That's
sign.
tough. That is tough. As much as I like it, I wouldn't be like, "What's the beer of our people?"
Right.
No.
So to answer your question, ice cold beer always, like you're sitting around a fire, you're sitting at a bar, bullshitting whatever. But if you're out partying, playing, you need to get down a lot quick. Yeah, warm beer is much easier than cold beer.
So is there any other drink you prefer it to be room temperature than water?
No, I don't hate warm, milk is fine. I don't drink milk, but milk is fine.
You want room temperature milk? That's the one you went to?
But the only time I drink milk is in cereal.
Sure. But
Still like it cold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, milk kind of disgusts me anyway, so that's probably a bad example.
Yeah,
it's just as bad room temperature cold as your opinion. That's
fair. I guess.
Soda? I'll take a soda at any temperature.
I don't disagree. I like ice cold soda, but I don't know, if you're fall asleep on a Sunday watching golf or something, you wake up, you need to drink something, you have half a flat Dr. Pepper next to you, that's not a bad drink.
No, we should do a ranking at some point, the best flat sodas, because Dr. Pepper's up there, I think.
Our grandmother, Luke, would put 2 liters of soda in the fridge purposely a little cracked to let them flatten out a little bit. She loved flat soda.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, regular, little too much bite. A little too spicy.
What does suck at room temperature though is vodka.
Yeah.
Oh.
At least most vodka I've consumed in my life. Yes. There's some vodka where it tastes like water, but
you ever had
most of it does not.
You ever had the spicy dill pickle vodka?
Ooh.
Oh, incredible.
I've had from which one?
I don't know, but at a bar they gave me a spicy dill pickle shot. Vodka was incredible.
I mean, there's a distillery near Jake and I
Yeah.
in Chippewa Falls. So if you go there to go to Liney's and stuff,
Yeah.
there's a Trumies dill vodka, very good, and Bloody Marys, very solid.
Okay. Not a Bloody Mary fan, but I like the.
Okay, I mean, just drink the vodka, I guess. That's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, what they do have, that's a drink there. It's half lemonade, half dill pickle vodka.
Yeah,
actually good.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You see Popeyes tried to start the dill pickle lemonade? Heard it's horrible.
It sounds like it would be bad, but
Yeah.
maybe it's good. I don't know. That's like their whole thing right now is dill pickle shit.
Yeah.
I went to Wingstop for the first time on our road trip, by the way.
How good was it?
So fucking good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It was incredible.
What flavor did you get?
Got lemon pepper.
Yeah, good choice.
Got hot honey. We got 4. I think it was honey barbecue and then one of the spicy ones.
The best is the mango habanero.
That's what we got. We got that. That was solid. Very solid. Have you been to Wingstop, Jake?
No, I lived around one in Kansas for 2 years and I just avoided it. I didn't think it was that good. I was obsessed with Cane's.
Yeah, true.
Cane's is solid. I think there's a Wingstop coming to Eau Claire. It was incredible. I blew my mind.
When I was in a bachelor party. We went to Nashville last summer, and there was a Cane's like 1/10 of a mile away from our Airbnb, and we stopped there every night at like 4 a.m. getting Cane's. It was incredible.
It's too good. It's not fair how good it is.
Right.
It shouldn't be. That toast as well as it's insane.
I do have a good Cane's story. I had a friend at grad school who went to Cane's High, and they, they always have a different catchphrase at the drive-thru. So I think I wasn't there with them, but I think.
I hate that.
Yeah,
that threw me off the first 2 times I went there. I froze. I think they hit him with the hickin' chicken. What you picking, lickin', or whatever they say. He calls me. He goes, Jake, I don't know what they said. I just drove away. He pulled up, they hit him with it, and he left. He was like, I can't compute. I can't hang with that. That was my first experience. They said chicken, chicken, chicken. What combo are you picking? And I turned to Lindsay, pissed off. Like, what do I do now?
Who do they think that they are?
Yeah, I'm gonna sucker punch this fucker when I get up to the window. Like, what is he saying to me? I hated it.
Yeah, my friend bailed. Couldn't hang.
The second time I was prepared. I'm like, gonna stay in the pocket. I know what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
And then they came with a different catchphrase.
Yes.
Like, I'm frazzled. I don't even remember it because I blacked out.
They came with a man blitz that time.
They did. I'm like, they're showing off the right side, and he dropped into coverage. I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay, but also, Luke, I'm happy you're here because on the trip, on the road trip that I went to Wingstop, I said I was gonna find Dublin, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay? And so after Door County, we went up. We're going to go up to Ashland, Jake, where all the magic happens. Yeah. As you know, Ashland is a place. Wouldn't say a great place. It is a place. Had to stop by Butternut. We got to see the midgets. That's the name of their mascot. Nobody get mad. So we had to go to Butternut.
Get mad at them. If you're going to get mad at anyone, their school mascot. It's there.
It's named after a world-class wrestler who went by the nickname Midget. So if you have a problem with that, respect our country a little bit. I think you won a gold medal. So went there, and then I said, before we go to, this was an audible I pulled, by the way, and you'll turn up. Not all audibles are good. Sometimes you call an audible and you get sacked, right?
Yep.
So we went to Butternut. I said, hey, we're like an hour away from Ashland. I'm actually going to go see if I can find Agenda, Wisconsin, because that one Redditor said Dublin was Agenda, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So let me bring up a map here. So I typed in Agenda, Wisconsin, and then we went to that spot. So looking at this here. So this is Agenda, Wisconsin. I'll say directions just so you can see specifically. So we were in Butternut, and they called for Agenda, Wisconsin. As you can see here, this is in the middle of a fucking forest.
Yeah,
hell
crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So we were on a road trip, and my Jeep was having some transmission issues, so we did not take it. We took Lindsay's, I believe it's a Chevy Cruze.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
love that.
Small little car. So that's great. Great gas mileage. We're hauling ass, right?
Right.
So I type in butternut. I'm like, okay, great. So we can get there. We're headed to Ashland, which is up here. We're going a little bit out of the way. So we take this road over here, and then all of a sudden we get to this road right here. And it turns to gravel.
Yeah.
No.
And Agenda is supposedly 3 miles into the forest on a gravel road. Definitely not made for cars, but I said, hey, we're just gonna take it. We're gonna see what Agenda.
When in Rome.
Wedded robe, wedded
Literally.
butternut. Like, let's see
Road
what
quality.
the government's agenda is with this place. We got about here, and sun's setting. It's starting to get dark. And I gave Lindsay it out because we're hitting potholes. It's a skinny little path. No sign of life at this point. I said, hey, we can just turn around. She said, no, might as well just go. It's only like 2 miles away. So we get here.
Yep.
We're in the Ashland County forest at this point.
Hell yeah.
There's absolutely nothing around. However, can I turn it to...
There's no way there's a street mode here.
No,
Wow.
no. There's no
This is
shot.
like Wisconsin's Roanoke.
Yeah. So just to show you, this is where we're driving through. This is absolutely nothing. Go to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel if you were not, if you were just listening to this.
Or look at
This
the picture of
supposedly is
trees.
Agenda Wisconsin's a real thing, by the way. They have a website. It's a real place.
They have a wiki page.
They have a wiki page. Where's Agenda Wisconsin? It says it's right here. But see, so there's different things that we kept seeing. This is suspicious here, is it not?
Yeah. That's what I was going to bring up. I mean, that's obviously the Barry Town Hall from like 1841. That I'm guessing this kind of got used as maybe like a Civil War base for some reason, and that kind of evolved into Dublin, where we saw all these mine. Maybe that's the opening to a mine shaft. I don't know.
I will, like, possibly, but I will say Agenda Wisconsin is new. This is a new thing.
I mean, it's got a 2020 census.
Like, it got its name like not that long ago. I'm not sure if it says it here, but on their website or whatever, I think they got their name like within the past 15 years. That's why everyone's saying, like, not I say everyone, literally one Reddit commenter said Agenda was Dublin because Dublin supposedly disappeared in the 90s, I believe is what they said. 80s or 90s. So that was weird. So we're driving here. There's so many weird little like spots like this that you can see from the road. There was a spot, there's a clearing as if, there was trees grown maybe for the past 15, 20 years or something, very suspicious amount of time. But there are these large ass boulders arranged in like a fence to separate us from that in that clearing. So it's like, what is that? What is going on there? And Jake, by the time we got to like this part right here that you can see, we are nowhere near done with this fucking forest. And my Oak Island senses kick in.
I was just thinking that you had to be losing your mind because suddenly you're on an episode of Oak Island. You're halfway through a crop circle.
I was. Lindsay's freaking the fuck out. We're talking this entire stretch right here, by the way. She's like, oh, we're gonna get murdered, we're gonna die, and stuff like that. And I was talking it up. Like, yeah, we're probably gonna die. Like, I pretend the car was breaking down. I pulled over. She's freaking out. I was having a great time. But we got here, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're here, and we kept driving. All of a sudden, I get a little impatient. I'm like, okay. It said we got like 10 miles until we turn to the right. So we're driving.
Hell yeah.
We're driving. I believe it was this little thing here. We drove to one of these here. We were in the woods.
Yeah.
It switched from Ashland County Forest to Iron County Forest.
Oh,
It was just gravel road the entire time, skinny. One UTV drove by us, so that was the only sign of life we had. The only signs that we ever drove by had bullet holes through all of them.
How many people were on the UTV?
2.
Okay, that's better than 1.
It is way better than 1.
Yeah,
but like we're not even driving by like cabins. We're not driving by anything. There's no cell service, obviously. We are in a Chevy Cruze. Like,
it sounds lit.
Chevy Cruze in the forest is such a visual.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It would the amount of dust on this thing. We went off-roading. There's still dust in the gas cap, apparently. Like, I put this thing through the ringer. Little nervous that maybe we hit some. There's nothing wrong with the car, though. I will say, we went well, but we were racing against the sun at this point, though.
Yeah,
like that's what I was nervous about. Like,
I don't want to be deer.
No, there's no sign of life anywhere.
That part of the country or that part of the state is like the Vietnam of Wisconsin. Like, you don't know what the fuck is going on out there.
Well, Jake, the scariest part that I thought we were gonna drive and see someone walking at us. I thought it was gonna be like Paul.
I know. I was like, you have one out to call up there, and it might be the scariest call for help you'd ever make.
Like, there's we go from this huge ass forest to reservation as well, by the way. So like there's some reservation activity in the woods as well. Like they do some hunting and stuff in there. But the way it's so primitive that also makes it a little scary. But like I was cool until we got literally like 30 miles into the woods. And then I tightened up a little bit. I'm like, okay. Like we need to get the fuck out of here.
It's like stadium pulse on 7 in college football.
Yeah. For the final, maybe like 35 minutes in the forest, no words were said.
How long were you on this road total?
Over an hour. Well over an hour. The sun was setting. The sun was setting. And then when we finally got out, we finally got to a paved road. Not a good paved road, but we got to a paved road. This is where I started to get freaked out the most. It wasn't Ironwood. We went by Copper Falls. We kind of came out like up here. We came out of 77. So I had all the conspiracy theories in my head, right? Like something's happening. There's activities that we saw. And then all of a sudden we finally get to a paved road. And there were, Jake at least knows I have a fear of birds. There were birds everywhere. There were so many birds.
What kind of birds?
Crows, big ass crows. And I will say,
the scariest bird.
You drive at a bird, by the way, and it flies off the road, right?
Correct.
They fly away. These are not real birds. They flew the length of the road as we away from us. Like instead of just driving into the woods, flying off the woods, into the woods, flying off the road. They all did this. They flew the length of the road as if it's a camera spying on us, seeing where we're going.
So they were flying out of the forest.
This was after we were on the paved road, as if it's like, oh, hey, there's a car, there's someone who's not supposed to be here. And this happened multiple times where the bird would just fly the length of the road ahead of us, as if it's a camera watching us drive. It was so weird.
Aren't crows incredibly intelligent?
Yes.
You found Wisconsin's bird charging station.
Yeah, honestly, that's what they say. Why they sit on the telephone wire so they charge. I don't know, man. They did not act like any birds I've ever seen. So maybe it's because I went through Vietnam for fucking 60 minutes in the woods, more than 60 minutes. It had to have been longer because we're driving at most. When I got a little impatient, I floored it and it was like dodging the potholes and stuff. At the peak, we got to like 38 miles an hour. Like it was slow the entire way.
What would you have done if
crazy
something broke down?
I don't know. Like literally, that was
scary.
the only thing because there's no direction to go. Like
you're right.
I knew the road to get out. I've been in this forest, not this deep into it before. I've been in the Iron County part, but
there's no houses around to get help or anything.
No houses, no sun. No one's driving by us.
No cell service.
No cell service. There's nothing. If it broke down, I would be there still. There was no chance.
That's so scary. The crows might have been that creepy because they don't see people.
They saw us. Bet you that much. They saw us the entire
Probably the first people that they've ever seen.
Maybe. I mean, to be honest, yeah, there was no sign of life anywhere.
Or at least a car. They're like, only ATVs drive out here.
Well, it didn't look like a car at that point either. It's a blue car that was fully brown. We were dusty. It was.
And you didn't even see any, so no signs of the towns we were looking for.
No. So it's Agenda, Wisconsin. Why did it take me there?
Are we sure that that's the correct Agenda, Wisconsin?
Okay, hear
It
me
said
out.
it's
Agenda,
near
Wisconsin, also missing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's the
Two missing towns.
Yeah, that's the news. Agenda's gone.
I mean, yeah. If what you research is close to Ashland, like that's got to be. There's nowhere else it could possibly be, right?
No. In a population of 200 and something, like where is that? It brought me to the middle of the forest.
You had a population of 0.
There was, yeah.
You know what
it
was
was
funny?
Weird. What?
When that guy, the people on the UTV passed you, you should just turn around and started following them. Because they were probably lost as hell too.
Well, at that point, it probably would have been a closer route out because we were probably only 15 miles in at that point. But they had to have been freaked the fuck out too. Like, why is somebody here? And why are they in a car? It was not a car path. It was a UTV path at best.
Because the town of Agenda appears on several sites. Like they have their own website, they have their own Wikipedia page. Travel Wisconsin has listed Agenda, Wisconsin.
But then if you go to maps, it takes you into the middle of the woods. And honestly, look at this. Let me bring this back up. Like everything points to the middle of the woods.
Even Explore Wisconsin's does too. I was looking at that.
Like it says it right there. That makes no sense. So even like the Wikipedia thing, that's the middle of the woods.
Right.
Population of 370, down from 422.
And I mean, that's right on the border we said, like between Ashland and Iron County. Right around there.
Yeah.
Is there any chance they just folded into Butternut? They just took down the signs?
No, there's no way. Because Butternut's been there for way longer. Butternut's been there for a long time. Like Agenda is a new thing. They had a town hall to call, and the street signs too, by the way, like the little address markers said Agenda.
Oh, interesting.
So you were there.
I was there, but no one else was.
Something's going on, man.
The population is 400, but the square footage of Agenda is actually 2 counties wide. It's just the whole woods.
Where are 400 people staying?
Go zoom back in a little bit. What's the pink thing to the left?
This one?
Yeah.
Cycle Lake Resort. I did see a sign for this before we entered the forest.
Interesting.
We could call them.
The resort. We should. Like, honestly, that's where the next Flurry Sports Retreat's going to be. It's going to be Cycle Lake Resort. And honestly, all I want to do is go back to that fucking forest because there's shit to look at. And you know who just got a brand new UTV, Jake?
Oh, Bloody Dan. I was just thinking he was the one for this job, too. He's going to know someone from Agenda.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So, we're going to get boots on the ground in that forest.
Do we think
if other people want to come, we need everybody possible to be there.
You know, like when you go to college and like your freshman year and you're like meeting people and they're trying like, oh, I'm from this town that only has 300 people. Has anyone ever said they're from Agenda? I'm a town from 200 people.
I don't know.
Been through a lot of orientations. I don't think I've heard that one.
Right.
No, like I don't get it. That's not that much smaller than Elk Mountain, Jake. Like that's half the size of Elk Mountain.
No, that's
I live in Mendora, which is
people.
smaller than that.
Yeah, Bear Valley, like that I've heard folks from. There's like unincorporated places where it's literally a few houses.
Right.
Mendora is technically unincorporated. Agenda, Wisconsin, I think is unincorporated, but they got 400 people.
They have a town board listed. However, their town board is all filled with people who live in Butternut.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What's the point of having a town board for a town that has nothing?
I don't know.
Ashland County,
household
Wisconsin.
income is 37,000.
From what?
I don't know.
Ashland County, Wisconsin.gov has a site dedicated to the town of Agenda. Its town hall is Agenda Road in Butternut.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was on Agenda Road. I remember that.
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
Agenda Town Hall's right here.
Do we have like a Seymour situation, Zach, where it just doesn't really exist? All that's there is the ballpark?
I guess, but why would it, typing in Agenda, Wisconsin, take me from this is where the town hall is? It took me in the middle of the woods here to like get killed.
I got something similar.
Okay.
Look up Town of Almond, Almon.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you think it's all A names?
Maybe. ALM what?
ALMON.
Almond.
Almond, Wisconsin.
Almond, Wisconsin.
No, this isn't it. Wait. No, this isn't it. It's a different one.
There's multiple Almond, Wisconsin. Oh, that's
Yeah, it's in-
that's a D.
Yeah, it doesn't have a D. In Shawano County.
It doesn't come up. It keeps bringing me to Almond.
I had to go to town board meetings there. And I forget where it is. No, left. North.
Further.
It's like somewhere up in here.
What's going on here?
Anyways.
What's a reservation?
Anyways, it's similar where that there's like the only building is a town hall and it's like a barn.
Sure. I mean, there's places like that near us, Jake, I suppose. But
Yeah.
But if I typed in, let's just say, let's just see what happens if I type in Albertville,
Yeah, that's an interesting one because Albertville
Wisconsin.
at this point is just a tavern.
Yeah, it brought us to it though. That's correct.
There's even an old Albertville.
Yeah, I mean, this is the new Albertville. But like
Interesting.
Wheaton, I bet it would type up Wheaton. Wheaton literally is just a town hall.
And that would be interesting. Does it take you to the town hall of Wheaton? It brings up a whole fucking area?
Yeah, it brings up a region, I guess.
City limits.
I guess. But again,
Somewhere
if I
in
type
there's
in,
my house.
true. Agenda, Wisconsin. So
City
it's
limits.
this.
The whole forest.
You know what this looks like? And this is the dirtiest thing I've ever said on the fucking podcast. This looks like Missingno from Pokemon.
Oh, it
that
sure
corrupted
does.
your game.
This does. That's the best thing you've ever said on the podcast. Yeah.
But once you catch it, what happens? It fucks your shit up. That's all it does. I went to Agenda, Wisconsin. And I felt like I just caught Missingno.
So yeah, well, interesting. Yeah.
I mean, let me bring up Missingno now. Or the non-nerds, I guess.
Back in the day, man.
I know.
Yeah.
See?
Hell yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the exact same thing.
It is. It sure is.
That's there, dude. That's a good pull by you.
Oh no.
I bet that photo was crazy. Just ash.
Dude, you're gonna be like in a Black Mirror episode where your whole technology is gonna be all corrupted and shit now.
I know.
I mean, if this is the last episode of the Flurry Sports Podcast, you know, Missingno got to me.
Now that I know I'm talking to two, I knew about Zach already, but now that I'm talking to two Pokemon fans, I had my staff present on like any cultural topic they wanted over the year. One of them presented on video games pricing folks out and basically putting up paywalls. And they were like, but it's been going on a long time. And the first example they brought up was how Pokemon used to do trade evolutions, and I got too invested. They were like, they were like, you'd buy a whole game, and the only way you could get Gengar was by trading. And I was like, preach, motherfucker. That's so true. I was so angry.
You had to have friends.
Yeah, I know. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to admit to my friends that I need a Gengar here.
But then they got the internet, and that changed the game.
Yeah. But I remember I was like, how high level does Machamp have to be? I had like a level 70 Machoke just crushing the game. And I'm like, this motherfucker's never going to evolve.
Never will. Got to make a friend first, which is the hardest part of the game.
And if you had one of the old Game Boys, you had to get one of those tethers.
Yeah.
That it would connect your Game Boys to trade them.
I miss when you used to put lamps on your Game Boys.
Yeah, you plug it in, little curly lamp on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had the magnifier glass you could put over top of it, so you don't rub your nose on the screen because you're looking at it too close.
Right.
They had all kinds of things. Yeah, they had a connection. I think, Zach, you might have had this where you were able to, like, it scanned your Pokemon cards.
Yeah, there's an e-reader. It was specific
I remember
cards.
that.
Yeah, I don't even remember. There must have been a game with it.
I wonder, and you're right, it was specific cards. It was not as cool as it seemed. It seemed like, oh, now any card I have, I can scan in. That's not how it worked at all.
No, like it might have just, recorded like the Pokemon you have or something. I don't know. There's some weird thing to it. They cost more money now, though. They're more valuable. Got a bunch. I was looking into that the other day.
That's my one regret in life is getting rid of all my Pokemon shit.
My mom gave them away to Goodwill, and I bring that up every time she makes me upset.
Yep.
It's like, you're the reason we're poor. You gave away my Pokemon cards and my GameCube.
GameCubes, too. People go crazy over GameCubes right now.
Yeah. And I was like, and I hope some kid went to Goodwill and is having the time of his life, but he probably sold it for $400.
Let's go out on this. And Jake, this is something I brought up to you a few weeks ago. I have a new hobby that I'm very ashamed of.
I can't wait for Luke's. Yeah. Here we go. Like,
well, yeah, Jake doesn't know about it yet. So one thing I've been doing, and it's the journey that I really am addicted to.
Oh, you didn't tell me what the hobby was? You just said, I have a new hobby?
I have a new hobby, and it's a little embarrassing. At least I had an embarrassing moment with it. I've been very into like flipping on eBay, like buying shit and then flipping. And the best way to do that, like there's these auction websites, at least on like Wisconsin, like estate auction shit. So you can bid on it, then you have to go pick it up and stuff. So I've gotten like Pokemon cards, I've gotten stuff like that. I'll go to thrift sales and stuff like that too. But the hobby hit a new low a few weeks ago, right before the trip. And that's because at an estate sale at the auction, I ended up buying 8 cowboy hats.
No.
They were good cowboy hats, and I'm going to make money off of it. Best believe that. But do you know how sad it is to drive to Blair, Wisconsin, and show up, and they're like, what was it that you bought? And then you have to say 8 cowboy hats. Yeah. And then you have to walk away with 8 cowboy hats. It was the most, I felt, and this is the worst part. They asked why I bought 8 cowboy hats.
Oh, that's none of their business.
You're right. And I should have said that. Maybe that would have been a worse answer. What would you have said? Like, what do you buy 8 cowboy hats for? What would you say? Because there's only 2 options, I think, is what this guy was thinking.
Resale, or I love a cowboy hat.
I should have just been honest. What do you?
What'd you say? You said you and your boys are going to the rodeo, or what?
Yeah, I said I'm having a rodeo.
Well, you got a bachelor party coming up.
So either this guy thinks I'm having an orgy or I'm special needs, I think.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Like, yeah, I said having a rodeo, and I just walked away. Like, that was funny, but the guy didn't laugh. Like, you have to at least laugh when you say that.
The guy that you bought him from, do you feel like he would have voted Republican or voted Democrat?
Republican.
Yeah, he probably hates your guts. He definitely thinks you and your buddies went and had an orgy.
Oh, for sure. Well, here's also the thing. So
making fun of our cowboy hats.
Right.
Well, it's not the owner I'm getting it from. So it's an estate sale auction site. So like there's this business that is like the third party essentially for all of these things. But what I found out now after doing it a few times is it's the same person there every fucking time.
That's kind of
so
odd.
It is weird. So it's Blair Auctions is the company that's through. So now if I buy something again from this auction site, that guy's gonna be there.
You gotta go face him.
Yeah. And he's gonna say something.
Yeah.
Can you please just like next time it's a bunch of Spurs, then it's belt
That's
buckles.
the thing. Like there's some weird shit that you can buy. I don't know what to do. Like I thought I was developing a rapport with this guy. You know what? This guy thinks I'm such a weirdo. You know what? The very first thing I bought from him. Now I'm replaying all of our conversations.
Buyer's regret.
So the last thing I got, from that last place, I ended up getting 8 cowboy hats and I got 2 NES games.
Oh, good.
Okay.
And a Miller High Life sign. So
okay. All good.
Mixed bag. The very first thing I ever bought from him was a box of like 30 Beanie Babies.
Oh boy.
Oh, he thinks you're a weirdo.
I'm such a weirdo.
Oh boy. You have to send someone else next time.
I know.
That's the Beanie Baby boy.
Right. Like this weirdo. And this all happened, by the way, in the span of maybe 10 days. Everything's happened so fast.
Dude, I'll go do it, and then I'll say, "Hey, thanks for the Cowboys hat. Cowboy hats. We had a great time with them."
Yeah, I mean,
show up with one of the hats on.
Right.
That's how he knows we're part of the crew.
I got a bunch of them around here. I should just start wearing them on stream at this point.
I heard this is where you get the cowboy hats.
Can I, in your defense though, on the Beanie Babies, and maybe this guy doesn't know it, maybe Blair Auctions isn't in the know. I honestly think that string of items does somewhat inform me of. I think I would be like.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This guy resells shit because that all falls into line with like Beanie Babies. That's like the only thing I know about them is they're wildly valuable.
In the middle, at least, I also bought a 1970s radio, which was kind of cool.
Oh,
so like that at least it wasn't like something super weird at that point.
Oh, he's cool. He listens to the radio.
Yeah, I like music. Oh, and like a DVD VCR, which is super valuable. Got that as well.
That's true.
But,
and that's the plan with all these. Resell all of them.
Yeah, I need to get rid of these cowboy hats ASAP. So
this would be a really fun game to revisit. Could you keep track of like at the end of the year? I'd love to be able to guess like what was our highest profit on any of these items.
Oh, yeah, I'm keeping track. It's going to be, let's hope everything sells, because that'll make everything so much funnier. And if it doesn't, it'll be only funny for you guys. It'll be just a dark point in my history.
What's an interesting avenue to kind of dip your toe into with the reselling stuff? Not reselling, but in the same vein, is buying the misprinted money. Or finding misprinted money.
Yeah, that's true. That's fun stuff.
Some of that is cool.
Yeah.
I've been really looking into card collections recently. We were talking about that a little bit, but my Uncle Bill, who has Down syndrome and has been a card collector. I don't know if that first part's helpful, but it informs a little bit about him. But he is a big card collector, and he has, for reference, 700,000. I did a count this weekend. Wow. That's an approximate, but baseball and football cards, because he has complete year collections for every year since like the 80s. So I've been on a hunt recently of like, how would I even do this? Because some like 2 years ago, someone was like, these will be yours. And I was like, great, I'll fucking use them to prop up foundation. What am I going to do with 700,000 cards? But this is my problem with collecting stuff. I started looking through some this weekend when I was up there. I started making a little collection of cards no one else is going to want, but I'm like, ooh, Torrey Hunter. I like him. Just guys I think are cool.
Reselling
Claire
cards is
helping me
so
out,
tough.
and she's just picking out names that sound nice.
Like
I'm like,
it's hard.
Tucker's
It's hard
not
to
worth anything, but it's a good name.
It's hard to sell cards unless they're graded, and it's so expensive to get them graded.
So, yes, real talk. If folks have tips, I'm into it. That's what I did. So a year ago, I got a couple of them graded just to get an average estimate of like, would this be worth my time to pick out ones of big value? But Bill's cards are a high floor, but that floor is still like a 6 or 7. They're not worth anything unless they're 10s. Really,
so
I mean, they'd be worth something at 9, but so you'd have to turn them all in for any max value. So I'm a bit at a loss, but I mainly brought it up to be like, oh wow, maybe I'll get started. And I just keep getting sidetracked by twins from the years 2000 to 2020 so far.
Dude, Jake, I know what you mean. Like, I don't have a card collection, but if I did, I would only look for like 2004 Milwaukee Bucks Charlie Bell, and I don't think that's like worth any money whatsoever.
Do you see guys and you're like, how'd you ever play in the majors?
Right.
Suyoki Nishioka for the Twins, I shit you not, played 20 games with us, broke his arm, came back, and then broke his knee. I don't know if he ever played any baseball, but I've got his baseball card. So I get sucked into it. Or ones that I'm like, this guy rocked. His card must be worth money. No. So, but it's a real crapshoot to collect things, but no. And then like, what's worth money? I was like, can I resell my old karate trophies? It's interesting. Who knows? Won a lot. I don't even know if I've told Zach this story, but I have, sincerely, Luke, I probably got like 20 karate trophies at home. I was in karate for maybe 3 years, and I made it up to green belt, so not very far. But and my sister Emily and I rediscovered it a couple years ago. I don't remember this period of my life. I was like 9 or 8.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have been really into it, Zach. You might remember some of these things. I had a plaque. I was the Chippewa Valley's young dragon. I won the best young martial artist, and I have all these trophies, these huge trophies. And so my sister and I, because I wasn't good at any sports, and this was pre-leg surgeries, so I was actively disabled. I had sideways legs at this point, and I asked my dad. I was like, "Was I that good at karate?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "You were very enthusiastic." And he's like, half of the awards were how loud you yelled, and you won those. And he said, then you won some of the sparring ones later because you were so much bigger than the other kids. He said, you won one tournament. I guess I kicked a kid in the guts and he cried and quit.
Hell yeah.
I was like, that's how you do that. Hit me 10 times. I'll hit you once. See what happens.
There you go. I think all at once, you need to just put them all in your office. Like go from none to 20 karate trophies.
That's true. I at least want to hang up the young dragon one.
Well, don't even acknowledge them. Just be like, yeah, I was in karate. What's the big deal? We all have hobbies.
And then I judo flip somebody. Are you down me?
For sure.
Wham.
They'll all start looking at you a little differently.
They will.
For sure.
Dangerous. Do you all have a lot of trophies somewhere for anything? Any random trophy collections to end the episode?
I mean, rabbit trophies, I guess.
Boom. See, that's
throwing
good.
Rabbits at the fair. That's a weird one. Like, what do you do with? I feel weird about throwing them away.
And the fair don't need them. What are you going to do? Resell rabbit trophies?
I know.
That's one you can't resell though, because it kind of erases a legacy that you built up for many years.
Good answer.
So like all that time would just be wasted.
That's a great point.
Luke, you strike me, and don't take this the wrong way at all, but you've got some baseball medals somewhere.
Basketball.
There it is.
I got
big
all
medal
the
collection.
Ribbons, like 80 ribbons. They didn't give out medals and shit. What do you do with those?
I know. I think they're all in my parents' basement right now, to be honest.
Yeah. You know what I do have, Jake? Maybe you remember this trophy. I have an Osmond Fest Beanbag Champion trophy that was handmade by a cousin that lives near Agenda, Wisconsin at this point. It is one of the most disformed pieces of clay I've ever seen in my life. It's terrifying looking.
But
you should hide it up there.
Yes.
Could. Ooh.
You should hide, and it'd be like someone goes up there. It's like Blair Witch Project.
That honestly, if I broke down the side of the road and I saw this trophy laying on the side, I would have shit myself.
Yeah.
It feels like it belongs in that woods, and it's terrifying looking.
Suddenly,
it has handwritten in permanent marker names on the back.
yeah,
dude,
I should find it.
put that trophy and all your rabbit trophies in the middle of the woods.
True. That would be like someone kidnapped and killed a small child.
correct.
Stored all their belongings there. That's fun.
It's something. You put little signs next to all the rabbit trophies, each of your rabbits' names.
Yeah, Milton.
rabbit graveyard. That's spooky. That's spooky. Well, I think we did it, folks. This is all timer.
This was an all timer. We went to places. We found out some dark spots about. Can't even say my history or my past. It's my current. And I'll give you update if my cowboy hat collection grows. You'll be the first to know.
Oh, I actually do want to end on this. I wrote this down earlier, so I did forget to ask. Luke, can you just tell us all the part-time jobs you had? You started on the stretch earlier. You were talking about coffee shop. You have some interesting ones.
He's got good ones. I know a couple.
Yeah. Let me think. Okay, 14 years old. They opened up a Dunkin' Donuts as my first job.
Hate coffee.
Yep, hate it. Taco John's. My buddy's dad owned it.
That's solid.
How do you feel about tacos?
Love it. Love tacos.
Okay.
And then I did Little League baseball umping, which was incredible. It was like $100. It was like $100 a night, and you get all the free concessions you wanted. And I did that in the summer, and I was loaded in the summer between my senior year of high school and freshman year of college. And then in college, I worked at American Eagle for 3 years, which is odd, really weird. I was the only guy who worked there for like 2.5 of the years, and odd job. Then
talk more about it, because the stories you have from it are fun. Just vaping in the back and then getting chili dogs for lunch every day.
Yeah.
So menace.
Yeah, at American Eagle, we had they would like station you in areas. So since I was a guy, most of the time I would be like the guy clothing section, but every now and then I got to go into the fitting rooms where nobody back there. I was sitting back there and just vaping up a storm, man. It was great. I got my own solace back there. No one ever came back there, so I was just letting it fly. And then COVID came.
Oh, no.
Yeah, COVID came and we kind of got shut down for a little bit, but we came back. And I was the bouncer. I had to tell people that they couldn't come in without wearing a mask. And people are fucking crazy, man. That's when I really stopped liking the general public.
Yeah.
But the best part of that job, the chili dogs. So we had the mall, whatever you call it, cafeteria, where all the we get the food.
I made Jake Valley View. Or
I know exactly. Oh, that helps. Knowing what mall it is helps. Okay, thank you.
So I made friends with the chili dog owner, the hot dog guy. And he give me free hot dogs and stuff. I always gave him college basketball bets. He's just an addict gambler. And the one thing he taught me is you never bet on a 2-point spread. And I've never once bet on a 2-point spread since.
It's great. That's great advice.
Yeah. So
learned a lot.
So next to it was a Chinese place. China Max maybe. Anyways, the old lady always felt bad for me, so she gave me a small plate of orange chicken, which was great too. So I was getting free food up the wazoo there, man.
Who hot was there
for you? Oh, because you're the bouncer, or for a different reason?
No, because I was just a poor college kid, just kind of hanging around, sitting by myself, on my lunch break, not eating anything. So that mall's really taking a turn, by the way. I was there a year ago, and there's just like nothing there.
No,
correct.
No, I know, but I will say that's a harsh to go from the high life of I get to sit in the back and vape and just chill and be with my own thoughts to I'm screening the door post COVID for masks.
Correct.
Brutal. Yeah. Did they let you vape at all? Did you get to like blow in the face of folks who couldn't come in?
No, but that would have been a great idea. They never learned about my vaping
till now.
Right, which is great. It was a great job, great people there. And then just to kind of round out my jobs, I did pool construction for a summer, and then I did when I worked for lacrosse, the university, in the summer doing like landscaping stuff in the summer and cutting grass, filling mulch, and then I worked at the cafeteria I'd clean up after, just vacuum and stuff like that. And then I got a job working for the newspaper, and now I'm the communications coordinator for the Two Rivers Public School District.
And Randy says you're jacked. Look at that. Look how far you've come.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Randy,
Thanks for sharing, dude.
Yeah,
Randy,
absolutely.
we're about to end the show, so I would advise going to YouTube and just taking a trip back a while, because we went on a journey. It was a good show. Anything else we want to say before we get out of here?
So that Valley View Mall, you guys know that it was in Tiger King.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
When?
Yeah, Joe. Maybe it was. I think someone was there.
You went to lacrosse?
I don't know, but it was like a 1-second news clip in like the first episode of Tiger King.
Huh. I'll have to go. This is a dangerous game. If I watch the first
Lacrosse's sister station interviewed Joe Exotic in 2009. It was featured in the series.
Yeah.
Why did he come to Wisconsin?
He did a show at the Valley View Mall. Great catch, Luke.
Yeah.
Wow. God. Imagine. Wait, what year? What year does it say? What year the
2009?
2009.
Oh, so it's before Luke's vaping days in the
Yeah.
back of an American Eagle. Damn. Could you imagine? You're just getting chili dogs, talking college basketball, vaping, and making old Chinese ladies feel bad for you, and all of a sudden there's a tiger and Joe Exotic walking around?
Right.
That would have been incredible. Jake, give Randy one college football take, and then we'll get out of here.
That's so hard to boil it down. Fine, I'll give you one, which is I think this next year, now that we didn't talk about this on the air either, all the things we did get to. Now that they've officially announced the reseeding, that it's going to be pure that way. My prediction is that Notre Dame will. I think until they get their shit together and make Notre Dame join the conference, I think Notre Dame is going to be a top 4 seed for like the next 5 years.
Yeah, probably.
Do we think
probably.
They're not going to play anyone? And then, if you had to bet on someone to make the college football playoffs, bet on Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agreed.
100%. 100%.
And
my college football take is that Tanner from Love on the Spectrum is an illegitimate child of Dabo Sweeney.
Oh.
That's incredible. That's such a good take.
Okay, see you next week. Goodbye.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No